Some shows lean left, some lean right, but we lean local and business. This is North Georgia Business RadioX with Bo Henderson. For the next hour, we will celebrate the businesses in our area and the people that run them. Find us on Facebook at North Georgia Business RadioX and online at northgeorgiabusinessradiox.com. Now, here's Bo Henderson.
It's the end of the quarter, and we have an exercise that's helpful for business and life here at the end of the first quarter. And Greater Hall County Chamber of Commerce's Christen Wilbanks is going to share with us how to increase your revenue, how to grow, and all the resources we have in our community. And as a member of the chamber, I know how valuable it is, and I promise you don't want to miss this. I'm here with Carl Libba, brand agency owner, and Dr. Bill Lampton, communications consultant. And let's start with wins. What kind of wins have we had this week, fellas?
Well, I would suppose one of the best wins I had this week was getting some good advice from my longtime mentor, Mike Stewart. Formerly based here, now in Nashville, Mike has been an advisor, a mentor, a coach with me since 1997, as a matter of fact. And I got some great advice from him, and I can tell it in one sentence. I had a product online that I was thinking of selling, and he said, "No, Bill, give that away as a sample, and then more people will get to understand what you do and what you offer." Thought it was great advice.
So give people a sample of what you do and find prospects. I like it. Carl, wins for you?
Yeah, I actually had two that come to mind. One on the agency side, we landed a fairly large client, which is the Georgia Pecan Commission. So all of us lovely Georgians who are eating lots of pecans, I'm going to make sure that you eat lots more of those.
But working on that project, wasn't it driving you nuts?
Oh, my gosh. I knew that joke was coming, and I couldn't avoid it, so I apologize.
I'm sorry Bo got to that before I did.
I saw Bill about to pull the trigger. Okay.
So that one was great. And then also I coach other businesses on how to increase revenue and had one of my clients land their largest target client. So that was a big win for us this week. Wow.
Well, I'm going to talk about one. This came up just this week. I had an official, we moved off the square. We were in the square for years, Rich Life Advisors, my business. We moved over to United Community Bank, third floor, right off of Jesse Jewell Parkway.
Big time. You guys are in the penthouse now.
That's right. Good parking and everything, right? But we had our official, finally, way past due, we had our official ribbon cutting.
Now, I think I saw the picture of that. I think the most impressive thing about that was the scissors that Christen brought were the size of Christen.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe larger.
They might even be bigger.
Yeah.
I held them up. They're probably a good 40 pounds. They're serious scissors. I'm not joking. So good. So I like to start with wins. And that's something good for us all to think about, because if we spend some time on what's going on good and what's positive, we actually create a situation where we create more of that in our life. Sometimes it's easy to get caught off in thinking about what we don't like, what we're complaining about, what we're blaming for. And I think we just had a good exercise. What's the wins? That might be a good question for everybody out there.
I think that's a great question to think about. And I think lots of times as business owners, we think about the actual work of the business without thinking about the business itself. So, Bo, I'd love to ask you the question. As you look at the first quarter as a whole, what are something that if you were to work on the business, not just in the business, what would something that you would take away from this first quarter of 2021 from your business?
Yeah, I guess looking back over the first quarter of 2021, one of the things we're still haven't been sure, when is the pandemic going to change or shift or be over or be back to normal or whatever normal looks like. But what I've learned is we've got to be flexible. We've got to be able to adjust. A lot of our clients now, they like a combination of in-person. That hasn't gone away. People still want to look you in the eyeball, especially when they're talking about their life savings, right? But also, they like the convenience of some of the digital platforms that we've gotten better at using. So I think embracing change, embracing flexibility, and really just paying attention to what your client needs. I think that's something we can do, especially when we're at a time of a lot of stuff going on right now. A lot of people worried, a lot of people anxious. And if you can do something in your business that relieves some of that anxiety by doing something or going above and beyond, I think it sets you apart from your competition.
Absolutely. And Dr. Bill, same question for you. As you look at the first quarter, if you were going to ask the question, maybe what worked, what didn't, what can you learn from, or maybe even what's next? What's the thing that maybe sticks out in your mind from the first quarter of 21?
I think I'd like to give an illustration that ties off of what Bo was talking about. People wondering when we'll get back to, quote, normal. And I had something happen to me a week or two ago that made me realize that change can be done. And it's very simple. I've driven from town to my house for over 30 years. And for most of that 30 years, I've gone exactly the same way. Recently, I tried a different way. It worked very well. And about the third time, I was quite comfortable with it. And to me, that's a very good analogy of what we all have to do. We've been going one way. We've had a certain number of streets and avenues and highways that we've taken, but those are closed to us now. And so if we think of it that way, if you can adjust the way you drive from town to your office or anywhere else, then we can make these other business adjustments that we need to as well.
You know, that's powerful, because I've seen so many people, especially in the financial industry, they do business in a way that's outdated because it's the way they've always done it.
And it's comfortable.
And what if you're open, or that's the way I built my business 20 years ago, but what if you're open to realize, hey, there might be a better way? I think that's profound. Carl, we're not going to let you off the hook. So it's the end of the first quarter. We're looking back. It's a good time to look forward to, I think in quarters anyway, to quarter two. And let's look back and say, what did we learn? And what can we take away to maybe go into next quarter?
So like Dr. Bill was saying, a lot of the clients that I deal with in terms of coaching came through 2020 and go, we have to pivot. We have to find a new way home. We have to adjust our product choices, right? So I have a photographer company, and what they do is wedding photography. And they're going, hold on, there's no weddings. What do we do? And so literally they pivoted, they adjusted into, we're going to create online courses for other photographers around the world because we can't work in our business, so we're going to work on our business. And so they pivoted, and I helped them create some online content and some language to draw people's attention to that. And they've done a great job in 2020. But the interesting thing about this last quarter is we're starting to get news and information. Obviously, the vaccine came out, and now I think the last number that I heard is the U.S. is already 20% vaccinated, which I have some of my neighbors who work here in Gainesville and live near me in Flowery Branch. They're from Germany, and they were bemoaning the fact that in Germany they're only 3% vaccinated, and they're wondering like what's taking so long. So there are some, there's some good news for us in the U.S. along with all the bad news, but the fact that 1 out of every 5 citizens is now vaccinated, a lot of larger industries are going, hey, we're right at the cusp of opening back up in even bigger ways. And so part of the thing with the companies was going, okay, how do you now prepare for the onslaught of weddings and larger event things? So they've got the digital spaces kind of handled. But the thing that I was learning in this first quarter is I think a lot of businesses need to start preparing for, we've kind of had a quiet season. What does it look like now to prepare for a busy season?
Okay. Looking ahead.
Yeah.
Going in.
Yeah.
Building foundations.
Absolutely.
Bo, there's one more thing I'd like to throw in when we're talking about change and adapting, and I can do it quickly. If you think you can't learn technology, I'm a guy who is immersed in technology. And I was thinking the other day of how a lady who lived in Nevada got on the phone one day with me over 20 years ago and said, I'm going to teach you how to copy and paste on the internet. I said, no, I can't do that. No, I just can't do it, Riley. And we struggled until I learned how to copy and paste. And now 80% of my time is working on the internet.
And he's doing videos, podcasts, everything.
I know, it's
Dr.
amazing.
Bill's a machine.
Dr. Bill, you are definitely my go-to vision of the future for myself, keeping up with the times. Well, we wanted to remind you today's episode is brought to you, as always, by Rich Life Advisors. At Rich Life Advisors, they believe you deserve a customized retirement strategy created specifically for you. Retirement planning is not a product, it's a strategy. And at Rich Life Advisors, it's retirement by design. So if you need more help with your retirement, you can get a hold of them at richlifeadvisors.com or call 770-249-7424. When we come back, you are in for a real treat because we have the Greater Hall County Chamber of Commerce's very own Christen Wilbanks, who is strong enough even to pick up those 40-pound scissors. And we think that Christen is the secret sauce to driving more revenue to your business. You don't want to miss it. Right here on The Voice for Local Business, North Georgia Business Radio X.
We've talked about things we can do to reflect on the past quarter, look ahead to the future. We've got a guest today I always get so much from when she comes and shares with us on the show. It's Christen Wilbanks. She's the VP of Membership Sales at the Greater Hall Chamber of Commerce. I'm Bo Henderson here with Carl Libba and Dr. Bill Lanton, and you're listening to the Voice of Local Business, North Georgia Business RadioX. But let's welcome Christen to the show. Hey, Christen.
Hi.
Well, one of the things I like to start with this idea. I know the outstanding work you do at the Chamber now. We'll get into that in a minute, but I know you did something probably before this, so give us a little background story of what brought you to the work you do today.
Brought me to the Chamber.
There you go.
So I actually moved here in 2000 with my husband. He is actually from Georgia, but I moved here from Texas. So he lived in Texas with me for a few years while I wrapped up some college stuff, and we moved out here, and I actually started in banking. My master's is in speech communication with training and development, and so I did that for a few years with a bank here locally, and then I moved into a branch and became a assistant branch manager, did all sorts of things within the branch. And one of the things I noticed in the branch, I mean, of course, you're dealing with people's finances like you do, and you have to keep that confidentiality and all that good stuff. But there were times where like, man, I really wish I could meet this person with this person for their business and make some connections there. And as time would tell, there was an opening, and I happened to be in the right place at the right time and ended up at the Chamber. And now I get to be that business matchmaker. And it's been a lot of fun. I really enjoy the networking piece of it and putting people in the right places, hopefully in the right places, to make those connections.
So I would love to know from you, Dr. Bill. I know you were probably the first person to illuminate me to all the value of the Chamber here in town. What drew you to the Chamber, and when was that?
Well, that was probably around 1989, 88 or 89, when I moved here. And one of the things I think back, Christen, and I know we could name hundreds of names, but I think of some of the people at that time who were so influential in the community and were very strong in the Chamber. And some of the names that come to mind would be Ray McCrae and Charles Thurmond and Mike Banks. And then we've just had a recent announcement of Gladys Wyant retiring from the Arts Council. I remember the very first Chamber event I went to, Gladys was in the receiving line.
Oh, wow.
Really?
And I was very new in town, and I remember greeting her and talking to her. So I know I've left out a few hundred names, but I wanted to mention some of those who immediately come to mind. Jack McKibben would be another one, and we could go on for a long time, saying that the Chamber has been formed and developed by great leaders on the staff and also in the community.
Absolutely. Yeah, we count on those leaders to really drive the Chamber, drive our purpose, and volunteer with us. We couldn't do it without them, so we appreciate them.
And Christen, you bring up a great point about purpose. So if I was a new person, I've never been involved in a chamber before, I really haven't heard about one before, maybe I hadn't been in a community as networked and connected as maybe North Georgia is. Mm-hmm. What would you tell me is kind of the purpose and the heartbeat and the mission behind our chamber specifically?
Well, first, of course, as salesperson, I would want to ask you a whole bunch of questions just really to get to know what is going on with your business. What's going to make a difference in your business? Is it the connectivity? Is it the community involvement? How do you want to be plugged in, and how do you want to promote your business within the chamber? Because that's going to kind of drive us with, okay, what kind of events do I want you to attend? Who do we need to hook you up with? What kind of committees are out there for you? So there's so many different facets that we can point you in the right direction. So it's really a point of knowing what's important for you and your business too.
That's fascinating. So let's play a little role play here, a little case study, right? Mm-hmm. So if I'm a brand new business in Gainesville and I don't really know anybody, say I'm in the marketing space and I'm a sign company. What would you tell me? How do I get involved? How do I become a member? And then what are some of the first few best practice steps?
First of all, becoming a chamber member is really easy. It's just basically filling out the application. We just want to get all your basic information, get you loaded into our system that's going to put you on our online directory and our printed directory, help get your name of your business out there. Secondly is I'd want to get you into some of those network over coffee events. They're very basic. They're drop-in, very laid back. bring your business cards, tell some folks what you do. Let me introduce you to some people. We are actually doing some of those face-to-face right now, and we'll talk about that later possibly. But those would be some of the basic events. And then get involved in some committees. We have some awesome committees that do different things, and it just depends on your business of what's important to you. It could be if you were in the healthcare or pointed more toward marketing for healthcare, you might want to join the healthcare committee. Find out who your connections could be there and what they're talking about. Or it could be something with city and government. Well, great, we want to get you involved with the issues committee. And some of these meet monthly, some of those committees meet quarterly. It just depends on scheduling.
I think Bo and I already sit on the issues committee. We got lots of issues.
We got plenty of issues.
Yeah.
That's right. We're talking to Christen Wilbanks with the Greater Hall Chamber of Commerce. I'm Bo Henderson here with Dr. Bill Lampton and Carl Libba. And Christen, one of the things that was coming up for me, and Bill made me think of this, is owning a business can be lonely in a way because you got so much. There's not a lot of people that maybe understand what you do. And everything I've ever done, it sounds like this was your experience too, Bill, is reaching out to the chamber. Everybody's been very welcoming, inviting, and I think it feels like they actually want you to succeed, which is a really nice feeling when sometimes, again, your family may not understand what being a business owner is, but you can come to the chamber and it's a group of people that get it.
Right, absolutely. And we definitely want you to succeed in all facets of it. I think that's the core of driving Hall County. I mean, our chamber is not just membership, it's part of economic development. It's driving new businesses coming in and welcoming those businesses. So I'm glad to hear that.
Well, I do want to hear, so we were talking about this a little bit earlier, but let's go to some real chamber history. What do you know? When did it start? As much as I'm not going to quiz you exactly, but
yeah, I don't have exact dates. I'm not that good, but I can tell you that we are looking at our 113th gala. So we've been around, just a little while.
A minute.
Wow.
Just a minute or so. So yeah, it was formed way back. It used to be, from my recollection, it used to be just for Gainesville, and then it branched out and it was renamed to Greater Hall because we wanted to include all of Hall County, which I don't know if you've looked at a map lately, but it's a pretty big county. So all the way down from Beaufort, Brazelton, all the way up to Claremont to the Cleveland line.
Christen, one thing I'd like to get back to when you were talking about joining and the process, two items to mention here. There is a financial investment to join, but I commend the Chamber for being very user-friendly because you can pay quarterly.
Absolutely. We want to make it convenient. And we understand some of the struggle with new businesses getting upstarted. You don't always have that marketing budget. So how can we help you in the way that's easiest for you? So we try to make it as easy as possible.
And I think Dr. Bill was telling us he wasn't at the first gala, but he was at the second one. Is that right, Dr. Bill?
Yeah. I heard the first one was very good, but I had a business engagement.
Yeah, 1907 was a busy year.
Right.
So, I would love to know, Christen, from your standpoint. I'm sure in 1907 they started with a handful of businesses. How many businesses were you guys covering or were part of membership at the end of last year?
Last year, we were close to 1,500 businesses.
Wow. So just like Bo, you were saying, the idea of being in business is oftentimes a very lonely idea, right? Especially for a lot of us who read early business books, it was kind of dog eat dog. You're out there for number one. And what I've really enjoyed about most of the books that have come out, at least in the last 10 years about business, is it's more about collaboration than competition. And I think the beautiful thing about something like the Chamber is it provides a space to come and collaborate with other people who understand the loneliness and sometimes the weight and the heaviness of a business, especially in a pandemic and now hopefully post-pandemic era.
Well, we're going to have to go to a break. We're here with Christen Wilbanks of the Greater Hall Chamber of Commerce, but I want to talk more about what's going on today. Because I'm just amazed at how you even keep up with everything going on. You have so many events that you guys are touching. I'm Bo Henderson here with Dr. Bill Lampton and Carl Libba. We'll be right back with a lot more on North Georgia's Business Radio X. There's no doubt the Greater Hall Chamber of Commerce has a lot going on, and we're here with Christen Wilbanks, and we're going to dig into exactly what's going on today. And we want to get our ideas of how do we plug in, how do we engage. But my question, Bill, I know you're really involved. What is one of the favorite things you've utilized from the chamber?
Well, over the years, to me, the most, of course, I love the networking opportunities, the business after hours. It's always enjoyable, and it can be very profitable if you go there not just passing out 50 cards, right, but really talking to people. For me, the most beneficial events have been the small business seminars, which are usually from, I think, 8 to 9 in the mornings. There are 1 or 2 a month. The people that they bring in present a variety of business programs. I've had, fortunately, the opportunity to present 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 myself. And going there and listening to people who have done very well in some phase of business that I don't know very much about and can learn from them, that's very beneficial. And also you're sitting with other people who you might not know and who also are eager to learn.
Well, and I was talking about just this week, we did a ribbon cutting for our move over to the United Community Bank building. And it seems like, okay, you're going to get a nice picture, but I've had so many people reach out and say congratulations on the new location. Now it's visible and there's awareness, and a lot of people that might not have know where I am now. And so something as simple as that. And I also had a lot of fun. We did something like podcasting. We did kind of a podcasting and content creation presentation at one of the chamber events. That was a lot of fun too.
Yes, we did. And we had that interactive. We had 3 or 4 participants with us.
That was a lot of fun. Carl?
Yeah, Christen, I'd love to ask you, maybe you can set up, and then I'd love to tell the story about me getting to come out, a little bit more about this idea behind the ambassadors.
Oh, our ambassadors, I love them. It's my favorite group.
I can tell we had a good time together.
We did. We have a great time. So Kara and I oversee our ambassador council, and we have about 35 chamber ambassadors, and these are folks that work in other areas of the county, multiple or different kinds of jobs. We have bankers, we have real estate agents, insurance agents, marketing folks. They do all sorts of different things, but they also volunteer for us at the chamber. So they support us in helping with ribbon cuttings. Bo met a few yesterday that came out. They help us sign in when we're able to have our face-to-face meetings. They help us with sign-ins and things like that. And they also help mentor our new members in helping them get involved, because if they're not involved, they're probably not going to stay. And our goal is to make it profitable for them, let them, learn what they can get from the chamber and stay with us as long as possible and retain them as members. So I love our ambassadors. They do an awesome job. So we meet monthly, and you got to come to one of our meetings. We so appreciate it.
Well, I appreciated you being so kind to invite me. And so Christen was kind enough to invite me. They have kind of a little spread, in the afternoons, and all the ambassadors gathered around a big table over at Breakwater Grill, I think this is where we were. Right. Over in Flowery Branch. And I was amazed that all of these business owners had taken a couple hours out of their day where they're not, quote unquote, now generating revenue. And you sat with this long list of all of your new members. And they basically said, oh, I know so-and-so a little bit. I'll be their coach. I'll be their mentor. I'll be their touch point. And I just thought about, had I known when I first came into Gainesville, like something like that existed, and that it would almost come with a friend/mentor. It's almost like when you move to a new school and they assigned you like another, like an upperclassman to walk you around and show you where things are. I just thought that was such a brilliant idea. And I was blown away by the fact that these business owners, who there's no financial reward to them, they just want to see other business owners do well, and they understand that networking is a part of that. I was actually, Dr. Bill and I are part of a new platform called Clubhouse, and you jump in these rooms and you're talking about business. And one of the rooms that I was in the other day, the title of it was Network Equals Your Net Worth. And it was this idea of, if you are not in a community of other people trying to help you, you are losing revenue. And what does it look like to step in? And what I loved is that these business owners were modeling, we want to do this for free for other business owners because somebody probably did it for them and they want to pay it forward. And so I love the idea of what the ambassadors are doing. So for those of us who may not have the Chamber's website pulled up in front of us, one, how do we find more info? And what are maybe 3 or 4 or 8 of the top things that we need to know that are currently going on in the Chamber? Because I know you guys are really busy over there.
Yes, and we're getting busier, which I love. hopefully breaking out some of this pandemic stuff. So right now we are actually wrapping up our annual membership campaign, and I want to give a huge shout out, if I can, to our chamber.
Sure.
We've had some awesome team captains, so I just kind of wanted to point them out. Jessica Palacio with Cardinal Ridge Group, she was one of our team captains. Michelle Pucci with Peach State Bank, Matt Waters, you met him yesterday with United Community Bank, Daryl Workman's over at South State Bank, and then we have Nancy Jo Zimmer at JP Morgan Chase, and they have been phenomenal in helping us bring in some new members this year, so we really appreciate them. Big shout out to them. So that's wrapping up in the month of March, and also we are having a huge job fair on March 31st. We have over 60 companies that are looking to hire, and it is going to be open to the public on March 31st from 10 to 2. If you're looking for a job, that's another thing that's a great resource. So we have companies, hey, can I post jobs? Yes, we want to put a link to your job postings. We also want to be doing these job fairs. We do them twice a year. We need skilled employees, and we need the right people in the right seats.
So expecting over 60 employers right here.
Yes.
Wow. And I read somewhere, I was doing a little research, and they were expecting something like up to 700 or 700-ish people to show up.
Yes, typically that's what we see.
That's a big deal.
It is a big deal. We will be taking temperatures. We do ask for masks. All the good safety precautions are there. But yes, when we had it last year, we were able to do it pretty successfully, and the employers really got some great candidates out of it. So we're hoping for the same.
And for anybody who missed that, one more time, what's the date and time and location?
That is going to be March 31st. It's a Wednesday. It's going to be at the Civic Center, Gainesville Civic Center, from 10 to 2.
Freshly remodeled, I heard.
Freshly remodeled. I know. I haven't seen it yet. I'm kind of excited to go see it.
Okay. Any other things we need to know coming up soon?
So also coming up soon, and these are monthly, and Dr. Bill mentioned this, we do have our small business success seminars. We're doing those via Zoom right now. It's a great time to jump in. The next one's going to be on Tuesday, April 13th, and it's going to be our friend Stephanie Sokenis with Small Biz Ally, and she's going to be talking about tools that help you work smarter. And then in May, we're going to have Terry Merck with American Yazaki Corporation. He's going to be talking about how to cross-train your workforce. So each month it's a different topic. And the great thing that we're doing with our small business seminars is if you are a member and you've attended 6 of the 12 throughout the year, we make a big deal of it. You are small business certified. We want to give you a sticker, a plaque, and really point that out that you have attended and you're focusing on making your business a success.
Well, it's truly a way to get exposed to these new topics. It's a way to raise your business IQ. Right?
Absolutely.
And
absolutely.
I like that. You reward it. Put it on the wall.
Yes.
And Bo, I know that you over at your company at Rich Life Advisors, you guys have also doubled down because you sponsor this show, but you've made a great offer to the Chamber for new signees into the Chamber of ways to benefit them and get their businesses out there. Could you talk a little bit more about that?
Oh, sure. A couple of things we'd like to do. And literally, if you listen to the tagline, the voice of business for North Georgia, a couple of things I love that we can do is we can do what we're doing here with Christen today. Is we love talking about the people and the stories behind the businesses and then getting to know the businesses in our community. So anybody with the Chamber, we'd love to have you come on and highlight the business. Another thing I've talked to Carl about, Christen, is we were talking about, we do a little couple-minute teaser clip to where you can put on your website where somebody in 3 minutes could get what you're about, what makes you stand out. That's something we'd like to offer too. So just a couple things we really appreciate this relationship and all the good things you do here in the county.
Oh, absolutely. And I definitely have some new members I've talked to. In fact, one of our chamber ambassadors, I mentioned it to her yesterday. So she's seriously thinking about it. She's like, really, I can do that? And I was like, oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I'll get you all the contact stuff.
Come on the show. We'd love to have them.
Absolutely. So I think that's an awesome thing to offer them. So they're pretty excited about it.
Well, I have something. I wanted to, this next segment, I want to ask Christen about something. I'm not going to say what it is. You just don't want to miss it. I promise you that. And we'll get back and we're going to talk about where the Chamber's going, what's coming up in the future. We kind of talked about what's going on now. Bo Henderson here with Carl Libba, Dr. Bill Lanton, Christen Wilbanks with the Greater Hall Chamber. We'll be right back on North Georgia Business Radio X with a whole lot more. We've been talking business with Christen Wilbanks with the Greater Hall Chamber of Commerce. Now, I want to take it away from business for just a second. We'll get back to it, so don't worry.
No, what are you doing?
Just a second, because we like to know the people we're interviewing beyond the business,
true.
right?
That's true.
I mean, that's part of the mission here.
Yep.
All right, Christen, when I was doing some of the research I said earlier, something came up.
Oh, no.
And it blew Carl's mind.
It did. I was very impressed.
I took it to the front desk to Jordan and said, look at this. And it was Christen displaying the gun show.
Yeah.
Do you want to describe what I'm talking about?
So, like Bo said, he showed me the picture, and then we took it out to his office executive, Jordan, and she saw the picture, and I was just like, how many push-ups do you think equal that one gun show? That was my question. So, Christen, we got to know, what is this a CrossFit? Is this Pilates? Is this planking? What gets you access to that kind of gun show?
It would be CrossFit.
Oh,
Okay.
wow.
Yes, it's CrossFit.
So feel free to plug your local gym because they're doing work, because you're doing work.
Yeah, and I would love to plug my local gym.
Yeah,
we
cool.
have new gym owners, Angie and Blake Bryant, and they're awesome. They're awesome. So excited to have them as members of the chamber, too.
Excellent.
So they're in the process of getting new logos up, and we'll go out and do a ribbon cutting for them. But yes, I've been doing CrossFit. This is my third year, going into my third year, and I never had arms before. I was so excited to kind of show my arms off. I was like, look, I actually have guns. So my husband took the photo. So courtesy of.
Well done, you and the CrossFit gym. And so we know, where is the gym located?
So the gym is located on Hilton Drive. Can't give you the exact address, but it's on Hilton Drive. And we have a great group of people there. We have law enforcement officers that work there. Even Chief Parrish is one of them. He goes there. It's like family, and it's very laid back. You can start where you are. There is no expectations, no pressure, and we welcome everybody.
Kind of like our show.
There you go.
No expectations.
There we go.
No pressure.
No pressure. Well, let's talk. We'll leave that topic. I don't mean to embarrass you with it, but it does seriously. It is showing that health is something that's a priority, right? Oh,
absolutely.
Any advice for anybody out there? I mean, you do so much to help with business, but that's a part of a successful life. So, any comments about health?
It's just about staying consistent. I mean, that's I say it's a habit, and it is. It's been a habit for me for a long time now. So. It's being consistent with everything. It's just like your finances. You're not going to meet your goals unless you're consistent. So business goals, health goals, consistency.
And would you say, too, for you, there was something you said that wasn't something you were genetically born with? You didn't always have.
She wasn't like 10 years old.
Right, with biceps. Yeah. For you, was there some part of, like you said, consistency, but having a lot of grace with yourself to start small? Because I'm sure you went into a CrossFit class and you're like, I can't do the things that they're doing.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Starting small, staying small. And I've been, knock on wood, not injured through this because of great coaches over there. So you really need to listen and kind of put your pride aside sometimes. Yeah. Say, I know I can do more, but just step back and say, okay, today I'm only going to do this, and that's okay.
Which is a great analogy for, again, having a connection with the chamber to be coached by other people and have them go, look, you've got time. We've got time to make this better in the future.
Help you with proper business form.
That's right. Nice.
Right.
So,
I see what you did there.
You see what I did? So we've been talking about that, but let's go back to business. So we've been talking about health, business, but let's go back to business and say, okay, what's coming up in the future, Christen?
Yeah. So coming up in the future, normal spring events, which we're pretty excited about. So we are having a Hackers Holiday, which is our annual golf tournament. It's going to be our 42nd annual golf tournament at Lake Lanier. It's a Legacy on Lanier Golf Club is going to be where we're at. We are actually sold out for the golfers.
Wow.
So sorry, golfers. But we are looking for sponsors. So if anybody wants to sponsor be a hole sponsor, we still have those available. That would be great. Then in May, we have our annual transportation forum, and that's going to be via Zoom, and that's going to be coming up on May 4th, and which is good because you really need to know what's happening with our roadways, what's going on with transportation in general. We have a big thoroughfare with 985 coming through, so connects all of Hall County. And then our 113th annual gala is going to be coming up on May 13th. So it looks like we're going to have an in-person gala. It might be a little bit smaller than what we've had in the past, but we're excited to get dressed up
It's
again.
in person. Now explain what the gala is.
So a gala is our annual celebration. We really want to award our small and family-owned businesses. So we give out some prizes, really do a lot of recognition with them, and just some fellowship with them, which is wonderful.
Very good.
Quite a formal event, isn't it?
It is kind of formal. Yeah, we like to dress up our one time a year to get dressed up and go to the country club.
That's so nice. And so if somebody's wanting to be a part of the gala or get any information in general from the chamber, what's the best way for them to do that?
So definitely go to our website, which is greaterhallchamberofcommerce.com, and you can look at our membership events calendar, and our link is on there. You can click on that and sign up through our link on the calendar, which is the best way. Or you can just call us at the chamber. Any of us at the chamber can help you, and our number is 770-532-6206.
Yeah, it's a good opportunity to go and just see everything that's going on. And then, like Christen said, there's not a blueprint or a one size fits all. There's some ideas, but you can talk with somebody there, and they'll help you put together. Hey, here's a good package for you and your situation and your goals. I love that. It's customized business planning.
Yeah, and I feel genuinely silly to be this ignorant, but Christen, when you and your wonderful team met with me to talk a little bit about meeting with the ambassadors and also, creating these podcasts and having a spot on the show for local businesses, I didn't realize what an enterprise the chamber was. I thought it was like more kind of a Rotary, a loose association, but when I came to the office, it was like, there are all these people. I was like stepping into like a busy hive of activity because you guys are doing so much.
Just look at their calendar.
Yeah. And what's the team there, Christen? It's a lot of you.
We do a lot with 13 on staff. So we do have our economic development team, as well as the membership team, and we also have a person that does all of our Leadership Hall County for Youth Leadership Hall and the Adult Leadership Hall County classes, and she does partners in education too. So we have an education piece, membership piece, and economic development.
Wow. And talking about future, we were at lunch at Avocados, and we were looking around the square, and we were looking at the fourth side of the square going up over there. We're talking about the First National Building, what's going to be happening there. And I know there's some other things going, so you might not even recognize downtown Gainesville in a year or two from now.
I know.
But it's growth, and it's more business and more opportunities.
Absolutely, and it's so awesome to see. I love working downtown. I love being able to walk out the door of the chamber and walk through the square and check out all those changes. So it's going to be phenomenal here in the next year and a half or so.
Am I missing anything? There was another big development. Was it over the bridge?
On the other side of the bridge, right?
Okay, what was that going to be?
So that is going to be similar to the fourth side of the square, where they have
another set.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was the bridge to nowhere, but not any longer.
It's going somewhere.
It was nowhere for a while, but yeah, they're getting going. Well, so let's do this. We've talked about the future, and one of the things I like to do when we have a good conversation like this, has been fun. We've covered a lot. Biggest takeaways from our conversation today. Was there anything, a nugget, a sentence, something Christen said, or just that picture of her flexing that really stood out to you?
Yeah, my takeaway is I need to get back in the gym. But in all seriousness, it's this takeaway that you're not alone. In your local business, when it feels alone, there are people who want to connect you, and it will only help increase your business acumen and your connectivity, which will only always drive revenue, which is a large reason why a lot of us got into business. Dr. Bill, for you?
Well, I would like to echo that, and I would like to play off of something you said earlier, where you said networking determines your net worth. There's another saying I like, networking beats not working.
Oh, that's great.
That's for sure.
Yeah.
And one of the things I'm always reminded of when we have conversations with Christen is there's so many resources for our businesses and for people to plug into, but that also creates resources and good environment for our local consumers, right? Because they got people that are connected, well-trained, they have businesses that are successful. So it really is doing, on both sides, it's doing so much to help this community. So, Christen, any takeaways?
Absolutely. And just kind of playing off of that, it's not really a true takeaway, but we have so many from the community that call on the chamber to say, hey, I'm looking for a contractor, or I'm looking for this, I'm looking for that. And they're going to go to the people that are chamber members. So why not join and be on that list?
Yeah, it's kind of a trusted resource.
And one last time, for those of us who are jumping into the show late, what's the best way to get in touch with the Chamber?
The best way, of course, you can always look us up online at the Greater Hall Chamber of Commerce.com or ghcc.com, or you can just call us. Our number is 770-532-6206, and talk to one of us here at the Chamber.
Thank you, Christen, so much. And a quick reminder, today's episode is brought to you, as always, by the Rich Life Advisors. The Rich Life Advisors believe you deserve a customized retirement strategy created specifically for you. Retirement planning is not a product, it is a strategy, and it is retirement by design. You can get them at richlifeadvisors.com or call 770-249-7420.
It's Bo Henderson. You've been listening to Christen Wilbanks of the Greater Hall Chamber of Commerce with Carl Libba and Dr. Bill Lampton. We'll see you next time.
You've been listening to North Georgia Business RadioX with Bo Henderson. What local business do you know that should be highlighted on our program? Let us know. Just search North Georgia Business RadioX on Facebook or contact Bo at businessradiox.com. Thanks for listening. See you next time. And remember to support our local businesses.